Hi and welcome to the 10th and final video in our series, HR Essentials, Managing Employees, What Employers Need to Know. I'm Kath from Compass Business Support. Thanks for coming along for our final video today, Paulette. Paulette's from Fresh HR Insights and she's our HR expert. So you're really excited to get this video done today?
It is. So it is, as I said, the 10th and final one. We've had some amazing feedback through this whole series. So we've pretty much been running them the whole year. If you haven't been watching in, do go back and have a look at them. So what we've covered and the way we've done it is we've actually gone from the start of the employment relationship or even thinking about starting the employment relationship right through to the end. Yes. So I'm just going to go the overview. So we've
today's a bit of a wrap up,
for
all the sessions.
So we looked at first when it's time to bring an employee on board. So we looked at whether to bring a casual, permanent, full-time employee, and we really talked about some practical strategies around preparing for that as well, financially as well as within the business and the business procedures.
So making sure that you can actually afford to take on that employee.
Definitely, because it's so important to get that right. Then we looked at the policies and procedures. Now, the policies and procedures set out the expectations of what you want in the workplace. Now, say, for example, you've got an employee who's not doing the right thing. And they say, but I didn't know.
But you've got all the policies and procedures to back it up to say, yes, you did actually know.
And should it get to the point where there is actually a disciplinary matter coming up or you need to actually talk to that person about poor performance, it would be very hard of you to defend an allegation if the person actually had nothing to go by.
Yeah, that's right.
So
it's important to make sure you've got all those policies and procedures in place and that the employee is actually aware of them.
Yes, and they certainly support you should you end up in front of Fair Work as well, having those policies and procedures in there.
And the contract as well,
and the contract of employment as well. Then we went from there looking at recruitment and selection and the process around the recruitment and selection. Now, it can be really costly using recruitment consultants to do that. There's some really good ones out on the Gold Coast, and there's some that maybe stay clear of, but we're not here to put anyone up or put anyone down. But just be mindful and look for the reputations.
That's right.
And look for the star ratings and potentially get referrals from people who've used recruiters before. But go with your gut instinct a lot of it as well.
That's right. Yeah. And if you do want to employ someone on your own without using a recruitment company, there's lots of great advice in that video as well.
Yes, there was in there as well. Then we looked at the induction process. So the first 90 days, of someone being in a workplace is when they're going to decide whether they're going to stay with you or they're going to leave. So it's about, they're testing you out as much as you're testing them out. So it's getting it right. Think about your first day in a job. What made you feel welcome or what made you feel unwelcome? And then use those same things because they're probably not going to be too much dissimilar to what you need and what you want. And we went through about setting out a nice box for them as well. We had the stapler because everyone knows over staplers in an office as an example. Stapler, notepad. Even if they said in the interview that they like perky nanas, tell them a Kiwi perky nanas, put a perky nana in there.
That's right. Make sure they've got their own things that they're not having to share with someone else, that they're all set up ready to go on.
Yeah, so the computer's there, the email address is all set up. People know they're coming as well. So send out a let's welcome our new person, they're coming on board, they're going to be here Monday, here's a little bit of fact about them. Okay, so really make them feel welcome within the business as well. We went from there and we talked about probation period. So having a 3 or 6 month probation within a business and actually holding on is sometimes worse than letting go. So using the probationary period, if someone's just not working out despite providing them support and providing them training, then maybe failing them within their probationary period. It's just not worth holding on sometimes. Because once you hit the 6 or 12 month band, depending on the size of your business, you're going to have to go down performance management route, and that can take a lot longer than just failing someone in probation.
Yeah, so sometimes it's better to take the early option.
Yes, yes, definitely with that. Then we looked at absence management, so we went through that. Now this is a big problem, as people either not turning up for work and not letting you know they're not at work, which has the impact on rosters, has the impact on operational impact on clients as well, and letting down the customers. Same thing as well, because you're all set, you think you've got the amount of staff in the workplace. People turning up late for a variety of different reasons, and when someone goes AWOL, so absent without leave. So how to manage that process. And it is important, but some of that comes down to communication.
That's right. And that was one of our other topics as well. That was actually the next...
the one after. So the next one we went into was the disciplinary process.
That's right.
So we talked about that. Now with disciplinary process, you need to provide natural justice. So you need to be procedurally fair as well. If a meeting is going to has the potential to end in a termination, you must provide them a opportunity to have a support person. Okay, the refusal to allow them a support person is something that Fair Work will look at during a unfair dismissal claim, as an example.
And just to clarify that support person, can that be anyone that they nominate?
So a support person is there to act as that, what we would say, support person. They're not there to act on behalf of, they're not there to advocate for, they're not there to talk on, to answer questions for the employee. They're there as a support person. That's not permissible to have a lawyer or a union rep acting within the position of lawyer or union rep there as well. So quite often ask who's going to be there, and if the person's not appropriate or if it's a conflict of interest, maybe they're a witness to the allegations, then you should suspend the meeting until they can provide a more suitable support person.
Right.
And that's something I've had to do before. I've actually had a witness to an allegation sitting as a support person during an investigation process, and I wasn't aware that they were actually a witness until their name was mentioned on such and such, and I'm like, that's you. Well, no, you can't be in here, and I had to suspend the meeting, and they needed to get a better support, more appropriate support person.
Okay. Next thing we were talking about was the effective communication.
Yes, so we needed to look at that and how to talk to people. And all I can say is talk to people the way you want to be spoken to. Comes down to that.
It's pretty simple.
Pretty simple. Be quite transparent as well. There are things that an employee doesn't need to know that's going on in the business, but where at all possible, be transparent. But also listen and be present. Okay, we went through listen to learn, not listen to respond.
Another thing I like that I've heard before is that you've got 2 ears and 1 mouth, and you should use them in proportion.
Yes, definitely. And don't forget the other one that we brought up as well, the fish always rots from the head.
That's it.
Okay, so it's the leaders and the managers that are the ones that are going to lead with this one about the communication skills.
So set the example as the leader or the manager of the business, so that your team can follow.
And another one that I heard, and I love it as well, was a leader lights a fire within people, and a manager lights a fire under people. I
love it. So true.
Yeah, and then the last one was ending employment. So as you can see, we've gone through the whole process. So this is where we're ending up now with the HR rescue, which kind of segues nicely into what we have available. So at Fresh HR, we've looked at the whole process, and we've actually got an HR rescue program that you can jump in there, and there's an ebook as well that has all the information you need for the whole process.
Yeah, that's great. It's just such a vital tool that all businesses need, and it's going to walk you through the whole process so that you know right from before you actually hire someone to when you have to finish them up, or if they decide to leave, and you've got every single process that you need, and that's all covered off, and you're not going to wind yourself look at being open to unfair dismissal.
I know it seems like a lot of paperwork, it seems like a big effort, it may seem like, it's a cost my business just cannot afford. But say, for example, a person, you dismiss them and they go for unfair dismissals. Is 4, 8, 12 grand something you can afford to pay out, let alone the disruption to the business? And another example, say if you dismiss someone because they've been off absent, now that opens you up to a general protections claim. General protections claims do not have a cap. There is no financial cap. Can you afford 30, 40, 50, 60,000 or more?
It's a lot of money.
Really think about that.
So I think a way to think about it is that, if you can't afford to have all these policies and procedures in place, then you can't afford to take on a new employee.
There's, riding by the seat of your pants isn't going to work all the time. You may get away for a while, but you're going to get that one employee who knows their rights. And I can tell you now, as a university lecturer coming through, students know their rights. We actually verse them on their rights, so they are coming prepared.
That's right. So as an employer, we need to be one step ahead.
Yes. So there's no room for guesswork, and there just isn't, and Fair Work's not going to accept that either.
Okay. Well, I think that's just about it for our wrap up now. That's all of our videos done for the year.
Yep, and we've covered them all off. As we said, we've gone through, so just to recap, I know it's getting long, but just to recap. So when's a good time to bring employees on board? Then we looked at policies and procedures, recruitment and selection, induction, probation, absence management, disciplinary process, effective communication, and ending employment.
That's it. So just remember, you can go back and look at these videos at any time. They're yours to keep and look at any time as you need some advice.
Yep. And each video's got some checklists with them as well, got some links as well. So Cass provided some amazing links to her products and services. There's some other ones there from Fresh HR Insights as well. If you do have any questions, get hold of Kath or get hold of myself. We're always there for you.
Absolutely. So we'd like to wish you all a very Merry Christmas and have a fabulous 2019. And just remember, we're both here to help if you've got any questions at all. So thank you so much for doing these videos.
Yeah, and I think we're both available over the Christmas and New Year period, so just drop us an email across. You know, we will be celebrating with our families as well, but we'll always have time to answer emails. Maybe not, straight away, but give us 24, 48 hours and we can get back to you.
Absolutely. So thank you very much for joining us.